Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be 10 things I absolutely love about living in Germany. Before we get into the crux of the video, you all know how it goes. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, okay? Yeah, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe so that you'll know every time I post a video. And if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at Wale O Chronicles. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this content. And let's get into the crux of the video. The first thing I absolutely love about living in Germany is the punctuality. People have so much respect for other people's times. Like, nobody is here to waste anybody's time. If there's an appointment by 12 noon, you better believe that appointment is starting at 12 noon. And sometimes people are there like 2 minutes before time or 5 minutes before time. I mean, this depends on individuals. Sometimes, like if you're in informal situations, of course, like some people, they just rude. Anyway, some people will not show up on time, but generally speaking, even for informal situations, when you give people a certain time, then you are expected to be there at that time. And I really, really love that about Germany, especially coming from Nigeria, where we have African time, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think I spoke about that in a different video about being African in Germany. If you have not seen that video, I'm going to leave the link down below. The second thing I absolutely love about living in Germany is this sense of equality. And I'm not talking about gender roles, I'm talking about equality in terms of every child having equal access to the same quality of education, irrespective of what kind of family you were born into or what kind of background you're from. I'm talking from the perspective of someone who was born in Nigeria. In Nigeria, unfortunately, education is not free. So the quality of education you have is equal to the amount of money your parents are able to pay for the education, which I think is not the best situation in life, because education should be a human right for every child. But anyway, that's talking about Nigeria. We're talking about Germany now. I really love the fact that education to higher institution, from elementary school to high school to higher institution, is free. So every child, irrespective of whether your parents are unemployed or your parents are like super rich, you have equal access to the same quality of education. I mean, of course, there are private schools and stuff if you want to send your children to that, but everybody has access to the same level, and everybody has equal access to the job market if you're well educated. So this sense of having equal opportunity creates this level of equality. The third thing I absolutely love about living in Germany is the directness and honesty of the people. Again, this is a very broad generalization, but I think the culture is such that people are direct, and as such, people just say things the way they are. There is no embellishments or exaggerations. I mean, if somebody tells you, oh, if a German person tells you, oh, wow, you look very, very beautiful today. Wow. Believe it, you do look beautiful. It's not like some other cultures where people just say things they don't really mean just for making conversation. I really appreciate that directness. And if you ask people for their opinion, they will tell you what they really think. There is no maneuvering, or I just like the directness. You give it as it is, and you don't have to second guess what people say, because like, oh, does the person mean it, does the person not mean it? Mm-mm. If the person said the sky is blue, the sky is blue. If the person said you're good at your job, you're good at your job. If the person say, oh, you're not good at your job, you suck, you really suck. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is the relatively low cost of living in Germany. So for this point, I'm comparing it to Switzerland, where I spent some time. The cost of living in Germany is way, way lower than living in Switzerland, for instance. Depending on the city, I have to say, depending on the city. Again, I'm talking from the perspective of someone that lives in Berlin. So, of course, Berlin is one of the like cheapest capital cities in the world. For a capital city, the cost of living here is still relatively low, although it's becoming, for accommodation now, it's becoming ridiculously expensive. But that's another topic for another video. So like food, transportation, health insurance, cost of going out and socializing is relatively low. You can survive on a relatively average income here, especially in Berlin. For cities like Munich and Stuttgart, you need a little bit much money to be able to survive there, but still, compared to somewhere like Switzerland, for instance, or even Norway, the cost of living here is still way, way, way relatively low. Another point I'm going to talk about is the public transportation system here. I love the public transportation system in Germany. It's so well connected. Like different cities, villages are very well connected, especially here in Berlin. The public transportation system is so good. You really do not need to have a car except you live like super far away from Berlin. But even at that, the public transportation is so good that you can get good connections from anywhere. Buses, trams, the underground, what's it called in English? U-Bahn, metro in English. I don't know. U-Bahn, you have the U-Bahn, you have the train, which is the S-Bahn. So the public transportation system is very good. It connects cities to cities, villages to villages. There's the regional ban, which connects different regions. There's the ICE, which is the fast speed train that connects different parts of the country. It's really, really good. I love that. That you don't have to, in this age and time, you don't need a car. That's for me a huge plus. Point I'm gonna make that I love about Germany is the respect for rules and law. I especially love this because I'm coming from a lawless country. Okay, of course it's not lawless, but people pretty much do whatever they like. But here, like people really, really, really respect and obey the law. So if the traffic light, for instance, is red, yeah, you're not supposed to go. You're supposed to wait until it's green, and little things like that. In Berlin, actually, this is not really the case. But if I compare it to somewhere like Nigeria, wow, people really, really respect rules and laws here. And I mean, the rules and laws are there for a reason, so as not to create chaos, which is what we have back home. Oh God, I'm shading my country so much in this video. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about Nigeria anymore. But I really like the respect for laws and rules here, and it can get sometimes a bit like a pain in the throat. It can be a pain in the throat, but people absolutely love to stick to keep the rules here, and I like that. I try my best to also keep to the rules, but sometimes it just don't make no sense. Why should I wait for the lights to be anyway? This is one of my favorite things. One thing I love about living in Germany is the Christmas market during the Christmas time. I mean, like, Christmas season here is holy, is so beautiful. Everything changes. You can smell it, you can see it, you can feel it in the air, you can smell it, you can see it everywhere. It's so beautifully decorated, and they have the amazing Christmas markets. The only socializing I did during the Christmas season was going to Christmas markets. I mean, like almost every weekend. Beautifully decorated. You can get different types of food, glühwein. You can buy like gifts. It's really an experience. Honestly, I don't think any country does Christmas markets like the Germans. I mean, even when I was living in Jakarta, there was a German Christmas market in Jakarta, and it was one of the best, even in the tropical countries. Another thing I'm gonna talk about is the compulsory health insurance in Germany. I absolutely, absolutely love this. That health insurance is compulsory, and it is relatively cheap. You can find different, you can be publicly insured or privately insured, and it's still relatively affordable. And it depends on the amount. The health insurance is dependent on the amount of salary you earn, but then you get good quality health care if anything ever happens to you. I really, really appreciate that. That's like a huge burden off your chest, that you know that your health is taken care of if anything happens to you. Another point I'm going to talk about is the safety in different cities. Now, this is a bit tricky. There's this general feeling of safety. I mean, as a woman, I've never felt in a dangerous situation, or like I can go out and come back at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. alone by myself, go to my house, take the public transport, and I don't feel any sense of danger. That's a huge, huge, huge plus for me. Because as a woman, I'm always kind of like aware of my environments, especially when it's late. Where should I go? Where should I not go? Of course, you should not take stupid risks like walking alone in the dark park at 12 midnight or something. Of course, makes no sense. But I'm just saying there's this general feeling of safety even as a woman, and I really, really, really love that. Another thing I absolutely love about living in Germany is the plethora of leisure activities you can get to. So if you like to do different types of activities, you will always find something fun to do. Like, you can, if you like to travel, you can do day trips to different parts. Like, I've not finished exploring Germany. It's so huge, and there are so many beautiful cities, towns, villages, so many beautiful castles. If you're not into travel, you want to do like in summertime there's a lot of festivals, a lot of concerts. You can go to the museum. There's a lot of cultural activity. There's so many interesting things to do, and for me, I absolutely appreciate that. And the final point I'm going to talk about that I absolutely love is the fact that people are so open to you when they realize that you're trying to learn the language. The German people absolutely love their language. They're very proud of their language. And in big cities where many people speak English, if you as a foreigner make an effort to communicate in that language, the attitude you receive is so different. Like, for me, anytime I try to, even in my halting German, it's not coming out fluently, but I make the effort to speak German. Like, people become just so nice. They're like, oh, they try to help you, they're more open and welcoming. They really appreciate the fact that you're trying to learn the language. And for me, I really, really like that. This is my personal experience. With this, I've come to the end of my video. Thank you very much for sticking with me till this point. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and share with your friends. And if you live in Germany, let me know, is there anything you like about living in Germany. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.